welcome to our special spotlight series on clubtv.in. Today, we shine a light on an extraordinary story of inclusion, empowerment, and possibility. Meet the Blind People's Association India, an organization that long ago dared to imagine a world in which people with disabilities don't just survive but thrive, don't just adopt but lead. Founded in Ahmedabad, BPA India has been pioneering inclusive education, vocational training, employment, advocacy, and community outreach across the spectrum of disabilities. Dr. Bhushan Punani, and he's the chair of Blind Foundation.
Thank you very much. Blind People's Association, which is based in Ahmedabad, is celebrating 75th years of its existence. They started from a small street, Kameshwar Report in Ahmedabad, and now it's established, situated next to Indian Institute of Management. With the grace of God, thanks to the donors community and the government, that we are the largest NGO in the disability sector in the country. While our name is Blind People's Association, in reality it implements projects for people with all type of disabilities, including people with psychiatric disabilities. So basically, our target is we are a public charitable organization and also have district branches in all the districts of Gujarat, have 18 campuses in Gujarat and one in Rajasthan. Then we have 3 eye hospitals, 18 vision centers, and 34 daycare centers. Well, start backward. Very fact that when you start a daycare center, you go to a very interior community, interior of Kutch or Sabarkanta, Banaskanta, where the children with disabilities who have multiple disabilities or severe disabilities, they can never be taken to the towns or the cities for the treatment. So once there's a center close to their home, they are brought for assessment, intervention, and the services. That takes us very close to the hearts and minds of the people, and we give the services right in the community. In this way, that creates a very positive impact that these children. I'll give an example who has a triple, I should say, disability. She was a blind girl from a rural area and from a minority community. So generally, you would not imagine her that she'll be going for education because there's something that combination itself sparks the one ray that generally she won't be going for education. But this is just because we were promoting education of such children right in their village school. She joined and she completed 10th, 12th, did her BA, did her B.Ed, and I'm very happy. She is now a school teacher and one of the best school teachers in the district of Anand. She's totally blind, but she's so versatile that her children love her and they even support her, guide her, take her wherever she wants to do. So, this just to tell you that when you go to the communities, there are people who otherwise will never get the services. And to make it a movement, way back in 1982, we thought of a new concept. We used to call that time socio-economic rehabilitation of people with visual impairment. It was started from Dodka in Gujarat, Chikbalapur in Karnataka, and soon it started growing. And WHO in early 70s recognized the concept as CBR, community-based rehabilitation. So our project got upgraded as CBR. Then we opened up for all the disabilities with the support of Sight Savers, CBM, World Blind Union, State Bank of India, uh, many other Mijario funding organization. It became the largest project ever implemented under the banner of National Association for the Blind, where we are having the Rural Activities Committee with myself, Jagdish Patel and Nandini Rawal. So this project alone covered 500,000 people with disabilities across the length and breadth of this country. Now this concept has been recoined as CBID, Community Based Inclusive Development, with the support of Rehab Council of India and Melbourne University. Now the Rehab RCI is running a 6 months course to train the people as CBID workers so that they can go to communities. They can live with the communities, identify people at risk or people with disabilities, and give them need based services. And to expand this concept, the government of India took up the concept of integrated education. In way back in 1978, they came up a scheme, central scheme of integrated education, which was very effectively implemented in Gujarat. And 2009, this scheme was upgraded as uh, IEDSS, inclusive education for the children at secondary level. Now the point is, all these children with mild and moderate disabilities, they can go to a regular school. What they need is the special equipment, technology, support of the class teacher, and guidance of a special educator. For every 10 children to begin with, we had a special educator. There are hundreds and thousands children like that in the country. And then they are also covered under Smagra Shiksha, which is a flagship program of Ministry of Education, where they cover children with disability like anybody else in the regular school. To a classical example, there's a child with mild retardation. Mostly people say he's not educable, but no, he is educable. She is educable. What she needs is a consistent support of the family and the teacher. I'm very glad when I mentioned that number of them have completed their 10th class exam, 12th exam, even they have done graduation. Some of them are doing their own business. They're running a beauty parlor. There are many things. Only thing is that their progress will be slow. It will take time, it will take hard work, but we cannot write them off because they are mentally challenged, so they cannot be educated. No, that's a very wrong perception. Take a deaf child, a child with hearing impairment. If this young child at the age of 2 identified with the hearing loss, if we go for the cochlear implant, which is done free under many schemes of Government of India and state governments, there is some waiting period, but one gets the turn. With cochlear implant, this child can be educated like any other child in the regular school. Even if a child has missed the opportunity of going for a cochlear implant, if you give a very good quality digital multi-channel hearing aids, they can cope up like any other child. Even if they miss that, still by going for by the concept of total communication, where teacher uses the metaverbal language, sign language, and other means of communication. Now, because of computer, it's become much easier. Mobile is the best mode of communication of such children. They can be educated like any other child. Now, many of them are working with KFC, Ford Motors, and Armin Mills and Amazon, Big Bazaar, Big Basket, and they are working because they are being preferred as good workers, and there are some legal obligation like all US based companies go for equal employment opportunity, so they take people with disabilities. At this point, I like to mention that as an organization we don't confine to the four walls of our institute. We don't confine only to the community around us. We try to see that we should influence the government policies. See, I can cover a few 100,000 people, but if I have to cover each and everybody, I need the government policy to be in line with their need, their aspiration. So, we as an organization have been working very closely with the government, and we had the great fortune of working as members of very high level committees like Law Drafting Committee, the committee which drafted the Rights of Person with Disabilities Act 2016. I must tell you that this is one of the most advanced disability laws in the world today. Many countries envy India for having such a comprehensive law. After, after this law has come, whole education, training, employment, support service have become a matter of right. It's no more a matter of charity. It's not a You're not doing a charity to an individual. What you're doing is the bond right, the birthright, the human right of the person. Education is right for everybody. Skill development is right of everybody. When I say everybody, it does include a child, a person with disability. Now, after that law has been implemented, there are few things that are totally changing. The most important change is education. Now, every child, after the Right to Education Act 2009, every child, even child with disability, has a right to go to a school, any school, be it special school or the regular school. No regular school on this earth, in this country, can deny admission to a child with disability, because we follow the concept of free and compulsory education. Under that concept, every child has right. Now you'll be very happy. There are almost 26 lakhs, which is one quarter of a million children with disabilities who are studying with other children under Smagra Shiksha Abhiyan, fully supported by the government. And then number two, apart from education, the biggest blessing has been the higher education. Now, in this country, after the law, there is a 5% reservation in every educational institute which gets some support, some grant from the government. Because of that, all premier institutes of management, law, com- uh, company secretary, etc., now are admitting 5% children with disability. There are thousands and thousands of children are the students who are now pursuing higher education. And to support that, the continuum goes further, and there is a 4% reservation in employment. All the government supported or government related jobs have to take as a mandate 4% people with disabilities. It took us some year to see that is implemented, but right now when I'm talking to you, it's very effective. Recently, there has been a judgment of Gujarat High Court that the government of Gujarat has to fill up backlog of vacancies for people with disabilities right from 1995, and this number comes to 26,000. Just imagine 26,000 people with disabilities shall be employed within 1 year in the state of Gujarat. And if the same dictates orders are given by other high courts, there will be millions of people with disabilities who will be in the government job. And one thing remarkable has happened. Government of Gujarat has accepted reservation as a part of employment roster system, and because of that, whenever there are vacancies, 4% of the seat post will go to people with disabilities. So fifth dimension is of the law is for people who are in the rural areas. So 5% of developmental schemes, all type of development schemes, the resources have to be spent on people with disabilities, and because of that, they are getting housing, they are getting loan, they are getting microcredit, they are getting all support services which other people are getting. There's a huge budget in this country for developmental scheme, and 5% is a very large sum which will change the whole fortune or the way of functioning of people with disabilities in the rural area. And the fourth dimension of the same law is accessibility. All public places, irrespective of ownership, any place which is a public place as per the definition by law, where public can go is a public place. So all public places have to be made accessible, and to support that, Government of India has started the Sugamya Bharat Abhiyan, Accessible India campaign, so that within a couple of years, every public place is accessible. And when I say accessible, it does not benefit only people with disability, it benefits all the people who have the mobility, restricted mobility, a lady in the family way, or a old person using a wheelchair, or anybody who cannot negotiate the steps or cannot climb otherwise due to rheumatoid arthritis or arthritis, will benefit from the Accessible India campaign, because accessibility is the landmark rolled out. Same way, the sixth dimension, which is very important, that the law focuses on giving free health treatment to people with disabilities, giving them assistive devices, including the technology, etc. Now, when I come to technology, in fact, this is the biggest game changer in the recent decade. Because of technology, a lot of people with disabilities have become more mobile, more functional. They can access the material. Let's take a small example. We have NVDA software. With that software, a blind person can access any computer, any ICT device, maybe it laptop or or even the iPad or mobile, and they can. There's a talkback software. There's a voiceover software. All these are enabling people with blindness, visual impairment to access the digital material, and that's enabling them even to go and work as programmers in the IT companies, go and work as computer operators, go and work as IT people, which is opening their doors to the new world altogether. Same when it comes to hearing impairment, because of very good quality computer software, hearing aids, and access to computer is making the life very different. Now we take another very important dimension which concerns the corporate world of our country. Thanks to our government, that in 2013, the government brought the concept of CSR, corporate social responsibility. This, to my mind, is a blessing for the developmental field, for the NGOs, for the voluntary organization. Under certain condition, profit-making companies which have 500 crore turnover or 5 crore net profit, or they have 1,000 crore net worth, they have to spend 2% of their profit based on average of last year's profit on CSR. And the good part is the CSR is being mandated by the Ministry of Corporate Affairs very strictly. And because of that, all the leading corporate companies in this country have come forward to support 2% to the extent of their profits to various. There are 10 sectors which have been listed in the Schedule 7 of the Section 135 of the Indian Companies Act. But there's also an option you can go beyond on something similar field. While disability per se is only mentioned once, but if you see the broad sense, education, health, skill development are the
Many
major
common.
yeah. So the companies can spend on education of such children, skill development, and also the health activities, construction of their homes, or giving them support, giving them devices by the common technology. So because of that, I'm very glad many organizations like ours have benefited quite a lot. A lot of companies like Mafatlal, Reliance, Arvind, for that matter, Samsara Group, they have come forward and they are giving funding in a very big way to disability projects. And because of that, we can now cover more people. What people need is inclusive development. Honorable Prime Minister has been emphasizing that if you have to go for a society which is vibrant, which benefits everybody, every citizen, every in this country, we have to go for inclusive development. That means everybody should have a chance to go for development. I give you a classical example. There are hundred thousands of people with disabilities. If they're given just something for their self-employment, for example, there's a girl who knows the stitching work, the sewing machine work. If you just give her a advanced training of few days and then give her the sewing machine, which you do under Samsara group, these girls can become productive again. They can earn like anybody else with a sly machine, because electricity is almost everywhere now. With machine operated sly machine, they start earning 2 to 500 rupees per day. They become self supporting. Take another example. This girl who has done little beauty parlor course, and if she's given a beauty parlor kit, she becomes productive. Somebody is given a carpentry kit, plumbing kit, tea stall. Bagh Bakri Tea Company has given a few hundred tea stalls everywhere. So they start operating a tea stall. There's no big skills required. It's only the equipment, place, and the desire to work. So there's a revolution now. A lot of people with disabilities are going for self-employment, going for paid employment, going for professional employment, and big contribution for that is coming under CSR, and the companies have opened up. And the best part is CSR, the whole money is monitored by the corporate. So in this way, the philosophy of CSR is that corporate is not only to give the money, it's not a check giving activity. It is participation of the corporate in the management of NGOs. For example, the project I listed, whenever we have distribution of say tea stalls or vending stalls, or we have distribution of slime machine, anything, the concerned companies also come and remain present. They also participate. They also share their knowledge how to make it stronger, more effective, because company people naturally have an experience, have acumen, have the skill. If those skills are used for this humanitarian causes, lot of good thing can happen. In this line, as we are having this seminar, the best part is I'm very glad about that our legal system, our courts have been very supportive to the cause of disability. It's just a, I should say, a good fortune and a coincidence. We have got very, very bold, I should say, path-breaking judgments from the Honorable Supreme Court. We have got such very bold judgments from many Honorable High Courts. And see, you can draft a law, you can enact a law, and you can implement the law. But the law becomes a reality, its all provisions get clarified or amplified once there's a speaking judgment or there's a speaking order which sets the tone that government should implement this part in this well time manner. As I mentioned, to 26,000 jobs, there's a very bold judgment that every school in this country should have two special educators. And then there's another judgment which says that people with disability, they have reservation in employment, and this applies to promotion also. When there's a promotion, the reservation part will be applied to that. Then there is still another judgment which enable a person with color blindness, person with low vision, person who are dwarf, person with some disabilities up to 40%, they have been permitted to get admission in the medical colleges. Now there are hundreds of people with disabilities who will be sitting in the chair of a medical officer and giving treatment to others. See how the psyche outlook will change, that you go to a doctor who's in a wheelchair, who's a low vision, who has another disability, and is treating you. So you will not have that old thought, the disabled, the non-productive, they cannot work. So this is changing whole profile. And only thing is that what we need, while we have the beautiful laws, we have very speaking judgments, and we have the organization working for them. There are a lot of people in the rural areas, urban slums, who are not even aware. What we are talking is elite class, the aware class. But the big chunk of the community where people live is not aware what are the rights, entitlements of people with disabilities. So if they are made aware about that, if there's a more public campaign, awareness campaign to make them aware, things will be changing. Only good thing is that our government, our judiciary, our system, our laws, our schemes are very, very supportive to marginalized group of people, including people with disabilities. And I'm very glad our country decided to change, the modify, or enact a new law, Rights of Persons with Disability Act, which is in alignment or in line with, which is aligned with the UNCRPD, and this law is already very effective. Now, based on that law, as I mentioned, I repeat, number of judgments have come, number of executive orders have come, number of schemes have come, and because of that, when I'm talking to you, there are a lot of people with disabilities who have visibility, who are seen, who are sitting in the position of performance. There, you go and book. You have gone for booking your railway ticket. Somebody is sitting in person with disability. You have gone for air ticket booking. Or you have gone to a check-in counter. You have person with you have gone for a pizza. Somebody with disability is serving you. And the good part is, as we are talking somewhat for the business, there is a section 22 in the Rights of Person with Disabilities Act. And that mandates that every corporate in this country should have a equal employment policy, and they should draft a policy, and they should publish this policy on their website and they should implement it. And only the recommendation is at least 2% of your workforce should be people with disabilities. And now it has been mandated that you have to report back every year in your annual returns to the registrar of companies, ROC, that whether you have drafted this policy, whether you have published this policy, whether you implement this policy. And then there's an incentive available. Government of India has a scheme that if any company employs people with disabilities, the Provident Fund contribution, the corporate contribution will be made by Government of India. Same with the ECIS contribution will be made by Government of India to motivate the corporate to employ people with disabilities. There's a company called Smarton. They have developed the glasses, smart glasses. These glasses are AI based, linked to a mobile. And with the use of these glasses, a person with visual impairment can scan the material,
Okay.
read the material in all the languages, can see the obstacle, can identify the currency, and can also uh, see the environment, who's standing there, what is sitting there, and can store this material and retrieve the material. And they're very economically priced. And I'm very happy a number of companies, publicly PSUs, are coming forward to provide fund under CSR for these devices. And this device, which is developed in India, is being sold in number of countries around the globe, including in USA and Europe and in Africa region and in Korea and many other countries. We feel very happy that our devices, we used to import them, now we are exporting them, and that too with lot of grace. Even Amazon, which is international platform, is selling these devices. A lot of good things are going to happen soon because our laws are now getting implemented. There's more awareness now. People with disabilities are also raising their voice. They can now ask what they want. Parents have become very awakened. Now they're also joining together and asking what their children need.
And my first question to you, sir, what are the current challenges did you see in the disability business?
The first challenge is the attitude of the people. I talked of a lot of positive things, but still people have very negative attitude. So we have to motivate such people, give them the opportunity, and see that they take up the challenge and progress. And the fourth, government things are there. With the going government, people keep on changing. Somebody is aware about something, and person is gone. The new person coming may not be aware or may not be willing to learn about that. And that's becoming a big stumbling block. Sometimes we have a very good officer who is very sensitive, very agile, very productive, very cooperative, very supportive. But he is gone and next body comes. He has different priorities. That becomes a very big obstacle. And fifth and most important, the rural areas. Most of things are confined more to the urban and the larger town. Still in the hilly terrains, tribal areas, or the remote areas, still services have not reached to the extent. So it's a very big challenge how to identify those people and to bring them into the mainstream of social life.
So, thank you so much, sir, for your time.
Nice of you. I'm very glad and thank you very much. Nice of you for taking up the topic like disability. I'm sure very people will be interested in covering such topics, and I appreciate your initiative and wish you great luck.
Thank you, sir.
Stay tuned with Business Club channel, which gives you a lot of good information and you'll get a lot of good insight through this channel. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.